Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday morning and it's a beautiful morning outside. I think it's in the mid 60s out there right now. And we're only going to get up to what are we getting? Like 94 today. So the weather is much better. We can tolerate this. Anyways, I am here today because I am a co-host to a new collaboration called #Thursday BookTube. And it is hosted by My Mountain Home and Kitchen and myself, Life with Patti. And what it is on Thursdays, you just come on and talk about any book that you're reading. You can do a book review. My Mountain Home and Kitchen, she did a book review this today. I'm going to go over a few books that I am working on and one that I want to read right away. So, of course, I work full time and you have a normal schedule taking care of your house and all that good stuff, plus doing videos for YouTube or whatever. So I don't get to read as much as I would like to. And honestly, when I read for more than 45 minutes, I start thinking about everything else I need to get done. So I do read consistently. I read every day at work on my 2 breaks. I read before I go to bed. And a lot of times I will just, sit down on my recliner and read, but I don't always have long periods of reading like some people can do. So anyways, I wanted to go over, I have 3 books going. I hate when I do that because if I would just center on one book, I would get it done faster. But it's just how I roll. For some reason, I've always been like that. So the first book I've been reading, and I just started, I'm only on page 33, and it is Where the Forest Meets the Stars by Glendy Vandroth. And so it's about a little girl who shows up at this woman's house, and she lives out in a cabin out in the woods. And this little girl shows up wearing pajamas, and she has bruises all over her. And she, when she feeds her some food, she's starving. And she says she's from outer space. That's what the little girl tells the woman in the cabin. And then she'll proceed to say that she jumped into a dead girl's body, and that's how she's here, because she's not human. She's from outer space. And so the gal tries to get rid of her, and she wakes up the next morning and she's still at her house. So she calls the cops, and the cops come, and the little girl runs off and takes off in the woods. And so now she's regretting calling the cops, thinking maybe I should have taking care of her better, or, tried to help her more. And that's where I am in the book. So it's just the very beginning of the book. We'll see what happens, but I do like it so far. The second one I've been reading is for our book club, and I have told you about it before. It's called The Woman They Could Not Silence. It's based on a true story of a woman in the 1860s that was put in an asylum because she voiced her opinion too much. She was too strong-willed. And in the 1860s, they had this huge, it's centered in Ohio, and they had this huge insane asylum that they would put women in because for all these bizarre reasons that now there was no way that would ever happen. But, if they were too moody, if they were too sad, if they were too happy. In this case, she had 4 kids with her husband, and then he felt that she was too opinionated. And he was a preacher, and she didn't believe in what he preached. She wanted to believe what she preached, and she was kind of a rebel to it. And so he put her in the insane asylum, and she was in the nice ward. She was in, I think, Ward 6 or something like that. And they let her roam the outside, and they let her have a prayer group, and they let her do all kinds of things. And the doctor seemed so nice. Then he kissed her on the forehead, and she thought that was totally inappropriate, and she wrote him this letter about it. And then he put her in Ward 8, which was really the crazies. And she ended up saying that I wish I would have highlighted it, because she almost said that her life began when she came to the insane asylum, because it was God's calling for her to go in and help them. And the only thing she regretted is that she missed her children, but she didn't miss her husband. And so I didn't like this book at first, but I am liking it now. I am on page 169, and there's 500 pages, and this is for book club, so I do have to get this read. But I am enjoying it now. It's a very sad story, but I am enjoying it. The third one is Matters of the Heart by Danielle Steele. I always seem to have a Danielle Steele going, because when I can't focus on anything too intense, I go back to Danielle Steele. So she is a photographer in this one, and she is photographing a very famous author in Paris, and her ex-husband, who is only 60 years old, but he divorced her because he has Parkinson's and he's declining in his health, and he didn't want to put his wife through watching him decline and pass away. And she didn't want to divorce him. She loved him, but he said nope, but they're still good friends. But she's not married to him anymore, and she regrets it. So I have a feeling she's going to get together with this photographer, because Danielle Steele's books are pretty predictable. But it's an okay book. So those are the three that I have going. I just bought this book at work the other day. It's called Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe. Nestled in the mountain shadows of Alabama lies the little town of Wicklow. It is here that Anna Kate has returned to bury her beloved Granny Z, the owner of the Blackbird Cafe. It was supposed to be a quick trip to close the cafe and settle her grandmother's estate. But despite her best intentions to avoid forming ties or even getting to know her father's side of the family, Anna Kate finds herself drawn to the quirky southern town her mother ran away from so many years ago, and the mysterious blackbird pie everybody can't stop talking about. As the truth about her past slowly becomes clearer, Anna Kate will need to decide if this lone blackbird will finally be able to take her broken wing and fly. So it looked like such a good book. We got to order books in. I do buy the books for the store, but I thought it just sounded like a really good book. And then I'm always one of those, I pick up a book and I go to the first page and I read it and see if it piques my interest. And so they're supposed to be in Alabama, so in my mind I picture that they have a southern draw. And it says, why don't you start at the beginning? The beginning? Well, I reckon that was the funeral. The funeral turned into a damn circus when the blackbird showed up. Blackberry sweet tea sloshed over the rims of 2 mason jars. So right away, it just seems like something that's gonna pique my interest. So this is a book that I do want to read, but I'm gonna get those 3 books read before I read this book. So that's what I have going on in my book world this week. Anybody is welcome to join in here if you want. You don't have to talk about a book like this, like a novel book. If you have a favorite children's book that you have carried throughout the years, you can share that. If you have a favorite cookbook, a coloring book, whatever you like, you can share it on Thursdays with us, and just tag me and my mountain home and kitchen and let us know. We'll go over and watch that video. But you're welcome to join in. So I have a little bit of a dry throat. All right, you guys, I need to get off to work. I hope you all have a great day. If you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments below. Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe, Matters of the Heart, The Woman They Could Not Silence, and Where the Forest Meets the Stars. These 2 are very popular books. Well, and so is this Blackbird Cafe one. I think it's just on the new best time seller. So if any of you guys have read those, let me know. I would really like to know your opinions on them and how you liked them. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.